Very good evening, everyone. Well, I'm Shilpa and I welcome you all to the Shiksha webinar. Today, we are going to discuss the NMAT preparation strategy. Well, it is a national level entrance for PG admission, particularly for the MBA admission at NMIMS University and other reputed B schools in India as well as abroad. So we shall know all preparatory aspects related to this examination. Now let's welcome our expert for this session, Achal Kumar Prasad. You are the director and mentor at SMARG Education. I heartily welcome you, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am, and good afternoon, everybody who has joined us.
Before we proceed to the students, feel free to send your questions to us through Q&A box or in the chat box. I shall try to get all your queries answered by the expert for this session. Coming back to you, sir. So first of all, just briefly tell us about what is NMAT and what all universities and B schools give admission based on the exam score of NMAT.
Okay, so thank you for this opportunity, ma'am. But I'll start with the organizing institute, which is GMAC, which is an international test organizing institute, which also conducts GMAC. So Narsi Monji as a college, they asked GMAC to conduct NMAT. So NMAT test, actually it stands for Narsi Monji admission test. But in recent times, in recent years, many other colleges in India and abroad have also started accepting the same score. So since this exam is being conducted by GMAC, it has some essential properties which has also there in GMAC. So to understand NMAT, you need to understand this is an adaptive test. That means it is computer-based adaptive test. That means you don't have to be solving all the questions or all the like every time when you solve a question, and with the accuracy of that solution, you will be getting the next question. So like if you are doing some hard questions and then you will also be getting more hard questions. But if you are not able to solve any question, you will be getting easier question ahead. So the reason behind this, because they want you to check with your capability of solving problems, not the standard set of problems. So they have a large section, a large pool of questions of all the level at all the levels. And when you start attempting the questions of next question will be determined on the basis of what we have attempted before. So in this way, they are able to check your capability at per your skills or your aptitude level. So they will be scoring at per that. So this is kind of improvement from the standardized test where the questions are equal for everyone. And NMAT has 3 sections. So I'll be telling you about sections. NMAT has language skills. They first will check your language skills, which will have 36 questions, and total time allotted will be 28 minutes. It will have quantitative skills. Again, the number of questions will be 36 and total allotted time will be 52 minutes. And lastly, you'll be also getting a logical reasoning sections where the number of questions will be 36 again, and the allotted time will be 40 minutes for that. So altogether, you'll be getting 108. That means 108 questions that to be solved in 120 minutes. And that is in 2 hours. And the key point to remember is like every question will come up with its own time duration to solve. Like some question will come to you with 1 minute set time to solve, and some may come up with 2 minutes to set time to solve. So, but you have to answer all the questions. There is no negative marking, and if you do the question, if you not do the question rightly, they will select the next question based on your performance on last question. Okay, so finally score will be calculated between 36 to 360. You can get a score of 240, 250, 260, and 360 also. So this will be a scaled score based on your performance in the test and based on the other candidates who have performed the same test. And in general, the cutoff will be above 215, 220. And it may change this year also. And what you have to cover for preparation, I'll be also be telling about that in brief. uh, especially in quantitative skills, because in CAT or in JAT and other MBA entrance preparation, you have to cover many part of the mathematics and quantitative aptitude. But in NMAT, you can selectively choose few topics and do it for practice it for the NMAT. So out of all those mathematics chapters, numbers, properties, arithmetics, algebra, and probability, these four topics are important. You can skip geometry, you can skip other part of the quantitative aptitude, which is being asked in CAT and JAT. So, like I told you that how will be scored, how the test will be structured, and what will be the syllabus. Uh, I just told you, Pius, that which four numbers, arithmetics, algebra, and probability. So I took one of the question which I saw here on the board. So lastly, I'll be telling about which program you can apply with this NMAT score. Of course, all the 1800 seats that is there in Narsi Monji, all the campuses. There are four campuses of Narsi Monji. One is in Mumbai, one is in Navi Mumbai, one is in Hyderabad, and one is in Indore. And some variations program are also there, like there are some MBA HR programs, MBA in business transformation, MBA in analytics. So all those variation program is in Mumbai campus only. So other colleges other than Narsi Monji, you can apply for flagship program in KG Sumaya, in other business school, IMIT Business School, and many other business school. But the right choice, I can tell you that Sunadar would be also a very good option for that. And few other universities which are very good, but they don't offer flagship program through this test, but they offer the second best program or other MBA program through this score. Like XIMB Bhubaneswar, they take or they accept this NMAT score for a rural development program and HR program. Similarly, SP Jain also accept this score for their global management program. And with this score, you can also apply abroad, mainly in African and Asian countries like in Philippines, and you can go to their best college, the country's best college with that score also.
So sir has told us about what exactly NMAT is and what all universities and the B schools give admission based on the NMAT exam score. And also he told us about the pattern of the examination. Okay, sir, we have received a question from Harshil Patwari and he's asking if he wants to appear in 2023 for the NMAT exam. So does he needs to register now?
No, no, no. Actually, the NMAT exam opens for 72 days, and registration can be done even before a day of a test. So, if you want to appear for this year test, you can register it for till 10th of October. Uh, so, and then you can pick up your test slot, your test time. You can also pick the test center. You can also choose to appear for the test at your home also. So all these things are there, but you don't have to worry about registering for 2023 exam of NMAT.
Okay, sir. If I'll talk about the application process of the NMAT, people just find it very confusing. So I have a question that after completing, the registration process, is there any test reschedule option available in the student account, or for what duration it is available, if
So
it is?
actually, you mixed two questions here, ma'am. The first, I'll be talking about the registration process. When you are appearing for NMAT, you have to register for NMAT separately through the GMAC website, and then you have to register for Narsi Monji also. So you have to register for the both of the things, one for the test, one for the programs, because Narsi Monji just take the test scores and they are not conducting the test. So for their processes, they will be charging a separate fee for processing fee, and for NMAT you have to pay separately. And one thing is to be remembered here: NMAT form or Nasi Monji form should be filled before you appear for the NMAT. So it's not like you can get the test score and then apply for Nasi Monji. Unlike GMAT score, and you can get a GMAT score now and you can apply 1 month later. But here you have to apply for Nasi Monji before you take the test. And now I'll come to the second part of the question. So once you register here at NMAC, GMAC for NMAC test, you once you registered here and once you got the test date or test time and of your choice only, you can reschedule it. Rescheduling can cost you more, some 1200 rupees more. But And another word is retaking. So rescheduling and retaking is two different things. Rescheduling is the rescheduling the same test which you cannot appear on the date where you have already scheduled before. And retaking the test, that means if you thought that this time I could not do better, next time I can do better, you can retake the test after 15 days. And after 15 days of the appearing the test, after 15 days of appearing the test. So retaking can cost you the same amount of fee as you have already paid for the NMAT test.
Okay, sir. So, sir, we have a question here from Piyush Sahu, and he's asking, when will admission start?
So, uh, like like all other business schools, the business admission process of NMAT has multiple stages. Like once you fill the form of NMAT, then you'll fill the form of NMAT, then the result will come. When all the people will appear for the test, then they will take all the scores together and they will they will shortlist students on the basis of sectional and complete NMAT score, and also on the basis of academic and academic performance that you had in your academic years, and also the work experience. So after that shortlisting, you will be called for an offline psychometric and test or written admission test, and you'll also be appearing for personal interview, and then they will create a final admission list which will be offered to you. So you'll be like every other business school in India, the classes will start from July only.
Thank you for answering that, sir. There are two questions I can see in the chat box. Harsh has the question, tell me the exam date.
So see, it's like 72 days window is there. You can take or you can appear for the exam on any day. And there are two mode of appearing the exam. One, you can go to the center where already designated center from GMAC. And one is that you can also appear the same test at home. So if you are appearing at home, you can take the test in night also. But when you open the window of NMAT, you'll be finding a timetable that this is the preferred time that you can book your time slot where you can book your test. And also there is limitation of number of students who will be appearing in that slot. So you must register your time slot or your mode of examination much before you will appearing for the exam. So you don't have to worry about when should you want to take the test. Like another thing is that if you want to have a retake option, so you should take the test at least 30 days or 20 days before the last time slot, because for the retake you need to have a gap of 15 days at least. So you can have three retakes, like one attempt plus two retake. So you can have three attempts for NMAT, but mostly I don't recommend to take the retest three times. Like if you could not do well in first go, you can appear for the second go. Try to, if you are also appearing for other exams, you need to check that at what time you will be most free and most suitable condition will be there for the NMAT date.
So for the every time we just do this attempt, like you said that the three times we can, the maximum we can attempt it. So do we need to pay the amount
Yes,
again?
yes, the complete amount, 2,300 plus test you have to pay. In fact, you have to re-register for the NMAT.
Okay, again on the both the things you were saying, the GMAT and the NMAT.
It's like GMAT has a complete year-round window. So you can take the test 5 times in a year, and you have the valid score of GMAT for next 5 years. NMAT is not like that. It has a 72 days window, and maximum you can attempt 3 times NMAT, and the score will be valid for 1 year.
Okay, but for every attempt we have to pay the amount we are paying already. Okay, that's a big amount for a student to pay. Okay, so I can see a question. Harshil Patwari has a question again. He has prepared perfectly for the CAT examination. Now does he need to prepare more for the NMAT exam?
Actually, Harsit is the name, I think. So Harsit, you don't have to prepare more, but somehow you have to cover some topics which are not there in CAT. Like in logical reasoning, you can get questions from different type of reasoning capture, checking the reasoning capability like silogs and deduction and analytical puzzles also. And again, in language skills, there will be questions based on sentence correction, completion, and analogies and error identification and critical reasoning also. So these are the things that you have to prepare separately. And for the DI part, I'll say go for those DI sets which has some calculations there, because CAT hate calculations. They will be giving mostly the DI sets and logical reasoning set based on aptitude only. But in this exam, you'll be getting very straightforward questions, but it will involve a lot of calculation there also. So you have to practice these type of questions if you are appearing NMAT as along with CAT.
Okay. So can you also just highlight something on the NMAT eligibility criteria?
For NMAT, you can appear NMAT. Uh, there is no eligibility for that. But for Narsee Monjee or for every other business school, you need to be graduate with at least 50% score. Again, in Narsee Monjee, there are other programs which I told that variation of MBA program, which is MBA in Pharmaceutical Management or MBA in Analytics or Business Transformation. There you need to have 55% marks and some subject combination in your graduation also. So 50% is like mandatory, and for some programs it may be 55% and with some subject requirement also. And same for other business schools, they might have some different criteria, but 50% is the key requirement.
Okay, so I can see a question here. The Prachi Arora has this question related to the important topic for NMAT, and even we have received the similar question based on the last 5-year trends, what topics we should prioritize.
See, the thing is like they don't follow the trend because the number of topics they are covering is very less. Unlike CAT and other exams, like I told you, matlab they will be having questions on numbers, matlab in mathematics, numbers, arithmetics, algebra, and probability. So there's no like preferred section from NMAT, and since the test will be different for every individual because they have a large pool of questions, you cannot find the same match from other students, or maybe it may be like one or two questions may be matching for the two students. So it's not like we are getting a set of questions from every year so that I can guess that these questions will be the most preferred questions. No. So you have to complete the entire syllabus. You have to practice all the part of the syllabus, and then you can because it's not big, matlab you have very less number of topics to be covered.
Sometimes back you were saying that in the quants you can just target the algebra, trigono, arithmetic, or something like that. If you could just.
But I told you that just there are four topics from quant. One is number properties, arithmetics, algebra, and probability. And since we are talking about probability, permutation and combination is already will be covered in probability also. So if you talk about arithmetics, you'll be getting all the questions from percentage, average, profit and loss, simple interest, compound interest. TSD and time and work are less preferred, but again, you may find questions from that also. And in number properties, you can mostly cover the divisibility rule, APGP, and LCM-SCF. You don't have to go for all the CAT topics, such like remainder and everything. So you can pick or you can select some of the topics from the main domain also. Like I told you that APGP, LCM-SCF, and divisibility rule will be the most favorite part of the number system.
Okay, so Prachi, I hope your question has been answered by the sir perfectly. Okay, so sir, the next up we have a question. A student is in 3rd year. Can he give NMAT this year?
So it depends upon how many year of graduation he is. Like he is doing a graduation program of 3 years or 4 years. So if he or she is doing a graduation program of 3 years, he should or he must appear for the NMAT this year only.
So he commented 3 years.
Yes. So you should appear now because you will be completing your graduation in next year May, and your college will start from July. So if you'll not appear this year, if you'll appear next year, the 1 year gap will be there in your resume, which I don't think is necessary. If someone has not ready to appear for NMAT now or even after 3 months, they can wait for a year. But if you can prepare right now, you should appear this year.
So to guide us on this fact, applicant, need to select 5 institute for their preference for admission while applying. And those institute may have the different eligibility criteria for admission. So how can we actually select those 5 institutes?
See, the GMAC offers you to select 5 institutions, but ultimately the main college that you'll be targeting, which is Narsi Monji, that will not be covered in that. And for Narsi Monji, anyhow, will have to fill a separate form. So you need to go for the every institute where you want to go, right? Whether they are having a separate application form from NMAT score or not. So you need to check the individual college website or institution website to make sure that you are not leaving that option. And only the GMAC will give you 5 options to select. So it's like two way around. Either you go through the GMAC and the institute will get the score automatically, or you can also provide the same score to the institute by yourself. And eligibility criteria, I told you, like mostly in India, all the MBA programs are being run through AICT, so that they had to get the AICT approval. And to get an AICT approval, some things are mandatory, like every college need to take a student from an all India test, and the eligibility for MBA should be 50% in their graduation. So it is mandatory for all the institutions. So that will be there. An institution may or may not have a different set of criteria other than this.
So, what I have received the set of questions, what I have understood is that there's a confusion between the GMAT and NMAT. So, is there any similarity, or if there's any differences, please do highlight.
Similarity is that both of the exams are computer adaptive. Like you'll be getting different type of questions based on what you have attempted. And the dissimilarity is like the number of questions in GMAT will be very less, and the number of section will be more, because GMAT will also have a subjective written test. And like GMAT will have 80 questions, GMAT will have 187 minutes because there is subjective writing test also. Or GMAT will have some non-multiple choice question also. Unlike UNMAT will always have a multiple choice question, 108 multiple choice question from these sections.
So when you say that non-multiple choice question, then what type of question exactly?
Like either it will be a blank, just need to fill the answer there, or sometimes it may be like you may opt for 2 or 3 options together. Okay, and score range is also different, but that is very mathematically calculated. You don't have to worry about that. And the score validity, which is for GMAT, it is 5 year, and for NMAT it is just 1. And of course, GMAT is used for the admission worldwide. Like all the major universities of world uses GMAT score. But again, you need to remember that for an Indian graduate or for any graduate, you also need to have 2 years for work ex to be in any foreign university MBA program.
Okay, so let's move ahead. Now we have a query related to NMAT 2022 is being conducted as a computer-based test as well as the internet-based test. You were also talking about it. So can you explain what exactly is this IBT?
Basically, it's same thing. You will be getting questions through internet only. So here you need to know that it will be in 2 types. One, that you can go to a center, designated center, to appear for NMAT. So there, if internet connection is not there, they might conduct the test without internet also. But at home, you have to be in a like very good connected environment or connection. So ultimately, it is computer adaptive test. You'll be getting questions from the pool of questions which is already stored in GMAC database. So you have to be internet based to take the test.
Okay. So one more point I want to ask here is IBT facility only available for the candidate who is taking test, outside India? Is it like that?
No, it's in India also. We can check the website or while registering for the test. you will be seeing multiple options of test center in almost all the major cities, and then you can go there and appear for the test. Otherwise, if you like I don't want to go for the center because COVID is there, and there are a number of other problems you can count to not to go to center. So in that case, you can appear for the test at your home also. Again, it will be proctored test, so you will not get the advantage that anyone can think of that I can let other people do the question. So there will be a person designated there, will be at opposite side to see you or check you that what are you doing.
Got it, sir. Thank you. Okay, so now I want to ask you a question, related to, like, there are three sections. You said that there is a language skill, quantitative, logical.
Logically.
So we have only a month left for the preparation. So how we should plan our preparation for NMAT?
See, mostly the learning part is very less. Like only the few topics of maths where you need to learn something as a concept. Rest everything is like practice thing. The more you practice, the more you'll get better. And as far as language is concerned, you cannot improve a lot in this 1 month or in this 2 months. But again, you can actually improve in answering. How do you make answer? How do you how do you mark your answers? So you can improve on that and do as many as question you get for NMAT or NMAT level, and don't go beyond your difficulty level. Just practice what are you practice the question which you can do, so that you can actually get a good score with your level of questions. Because it's adaptive test, I already told you that the people who will be good at aptitude will be getting harder questions and more challenge, and the people who are not that good at aptitude, they'll be getting easier questions. So even you can score better if you are not that good in aptitude. So you need to just practice for the level that you are.
Okay. Also, any guidance on the reading comprehension?
See, the reading comprehension is always about the context. So if someone thinks that I'm good at English and I can just read the passage and answer the questions for the passage, it's not true. So for reading comprehension, a person who is like well read about the multiple context or many, and he is good at observation, he can do most of the paragraphs easily. So if you want to prepare for RCs, you should watch a number of or varied type of videos based on different topics, and without having any language bar. So you can just watch a video on history in Hindi, and you can do good in a RC which is based on Hindi, based on history.
So I can see a question here. So the question is like, I didn't have mathematics in my graduation. So I find quants very difficult. If you can help me with that.
See, the thing is like it's not the test of mathematics. So it takes a very basic concept of math, and it convert that concept into aptitude questions. So anyone who is good in math may not score very good in aptitude test, or anyone who is not good in math may score very good in aptitude also. So the first you need to remember that this is not a math test. It is basically aptitude test, an aptitude test. So you need to take, at least you need to take some help from some videos or some lectures where the teacher is teaching you on the basis of aptitude. So you can watch any video from anyone's lecture if you find good there. Like if they are not teaching you with formulas or trick only, if they are giving you the concept that how to think with percentage, with average, with LCM, SCF. So with that learning, you can consider all the question as an set of verbal puzzle, and then you can score good in any of these exams.
So, sir, if I'll talk about LR, so in NMAT, what I have understood is that they assess the critical thinking, logical reasoning, I would say decision-making skill of the candidate. And also it is said to be one of the difficult section in NMAT. So how we should prepare for the LR?
So, like, I'll say the critical reasoning part is mostly based on comprehending the question. So the verbal skill or the English skill is very important for logical reasoning. So if a person who is very good at logic but not good at language will find it very difficult to solve a logical reasoning question. So what I'll say to prepare for logical reasoning question, first you categorize all type of LR questions which can come in NMAT, and then try to read the statement very carefully. And because the question type will be same, so once you'll will be reading or understanding the questions in a way they are telling, then it will be easy for you to understand the new question also. So you just need to categorize and practice the different type of questions multiple times. And there are some topics like deduction and syllogs. You have to do it like we do it any chapter in math. So first you need to understand the concept and then you go the question.
So we also do have a subsection in LR, that's the strong arguments and the weak arguments.
Yes.
So people just find it very confusing sometimes. So if you can just guide on this.
So basically, what I'll say, every time any new student come to us, or even when we started learning these type of questions, we found it very difficult to reach to the conclusion that which argument will be strong or which argument will be weak. So later we realized that every statement or every statement that has been made for which argument is given, that statement has a core objective to it. So once you start understanding the objective and also start understanding the limitation of the argument that is given. So there are two ways to think. One, the core objective of the statement, and then the limitation of the argument. Like one argument which may seem strong, but it is not feasible. And or any argument which may seem very strong, but it cannot be actually visualized. So in that case, it is a weak argument. So when we start doing question with these two perspectives, understanding the core objective of the statement and understanding the feasibility of the argument, you will be will be getting most of the question right. And then with practice, you can actually become accurate. Will achieve the accuracy that is desired.
So, okay, so if I'll just talk about this test, this is a speed-based test, right? So except for the mocks and PYQs, are there any other way that students should adopt so that they can work on their speed and accuracy?
So there is a NMAT guide from GMAC also. You can have that to get the similar questions. And the other thing is like the explanation that they give or any other guide or any other uh, book gives, it is very elaborated. So you need to find the key points in that explanation, that what was needed to be done in order to solve the question, because the way they have written the solutions, it's too big and it may take 4 or 5 minutes to solve the same question. So you need to find out the steps which you can actually skip. And every question when you do, if you are taking time which is time more than the required, you need to think that what are you doing and what need to be done. So once you practice in this way, you'll be actually improving the time taken for each question.
So, sir, if you're just practicing mocks, just a follow-up question. If you're just practicing mocks, how many mocks we should practice considering the time we are left?
So before mock, I told you that you need to categorize the questions and do one type of questions, at least 50 questions and 60 questions at one go. And then only go for the mock. So before preparation, if you are appearing a mock, it will actually demotivate you. So if you want to do good in exam, first prepare and then appear for the mock. And since you are prepared, you don't have to appear more than 3 to 5 mocks. Like it's not mandated necessary. And the one more thing that I'll be telling you, unlike CAT and JAT or other MBA entrance examination, NMAT is being conducted by GMAC, where they put a lot of effort in making a question. So any institution, be it any institution of India or abroad, they cannot actually mock NMAT at for the same level. So you should not trust on the questions that are being asked in mock test. So mock, you can just you should get mock to practice the stress, or practice the attempts, but you should not follow the same score. Like if you're scoring 215 mock, that doesn't mean that you'll be scoring 215 NMAT, because the type of question, the set of questions you'll be getting in NMAT will be very different. And also, since they have a large pool of questions with them, they can actually give you multiple type of difficulty level questions for you. But no other institution, no other organization can actually create such kind of algorithm which an GMAC has. So in my point of view, appearing mock is like appearing mock to judge yourself is a waste attempt. And you should appear for mock just to check the stress level that you are getting there.
Okay. So considering the time we are left, I'm just launching a poll here to understand whether this session is helpful to you guys or not. And you can answer it in a yes or a no. And the second question, whether you will recommend this, the Shiksha counseling webinar to your friends. You can rate in 1 to 10. 1 is being not likely at all and 10 is being extremely likely. Okay. Meanwhile, the poll is on. So let's go to the another question. We have a question now related to the selection process. How to work on the group discussion and PI.
So there is no group discussion these days. Most of the colleges has left the GD part, and they have replaced GD with WAT, which is written admission test. And in written admission test, you'll be not checked for the facts and not checked for the verbal ability, right? Like how good you are writing. You'll be checked for your reasoning ability. Like they may ask you a question after COVID, how government should improve the tourism sector. So you need to come up with the different ideas and plans that you could think independently. Or they can also ask a question like, what kind of banking reform you can suggest for the RBI, to the RBI. So these written admission tests will be based on some very basic facts and the things that is happening around you, and some solution or some approach to analyze that, or to solve a problem. So written admission test will be there. For that, you actually need to but I'll tell you uh, what people do. They don't understand the question that is asked. They start writing with the terms that is used in that question. Like I'll tell you, there was one question I remember in IIM, the in IIM's written admission test, that provides some policies to eliminate poverty. And what students were doing, they were defining poverty. So they were wasting their time and the examiner's time also. So if you have a 30-minute question to provide the policies for against the poverty, you just need to write the policies. So what you can think about, you don't have to define poverty at all. Because if I'm asking a question, how to eliminate poverty or how to make a policy against poverty, that means me and you, we both are knowing what is poverty. You just need to provide the solution steps. So in this way, you have to actually read the question at least twice to understand what is being asked there. And if you answer the same thing, you'll be getting good marks there. For the interview part, it is like just other interview of any management program.
So you can just guide more on the interview part.
Of course.
What could be asked?
See, the management program, everywhere management program, the interviewer wants to know that what exactly you will be bringing to the class. And the other thing that they are interested in, how you will be using the learning that you will be getting at the college in future. So the two things is very important, that what do you have as an MBA candidate, and what do you think of yourself after that MBA. So every question that they ask, that question will have an underneath question to check you in these criteria. So the thing is that there are three, four certain aspect of candidature, like what do you know, what skill do you already have, what capability do you want to achieve in MBA program, and what future do you see with that MBA program. So any question I am asking will have a link in any of these four. So when you are preparing for an interview, rather than preparing for the question, you need to think yourself in these four lines. And also I'll tell you, MBA is like compilation of multi subjects, or it is multidisciplinary course. So if a company wants to hire a person who knows economics, they can directly hire an MA economics graduate. But why do they want to hire an MBA graduate who have some economics knowledge, which is not in that extent where in the way and the way the MA economics graduate knows? Because the MBA and an MBA actually know how to use that knowledge for business perspective. So that you need to know that what are you going to learn. And it's not the subjects, it's not the just how to manage. You need to know that what are the variations of MBA, what are the subject combination that MBA offers, what are the capabilities that MBA gets in those two year of learning. So if you know the program, you will have better chance to get selected in. So most of the time people get confused that I don't have a profile, I don't have a good academic background with me, I don't know my subjects well. That doesn't matter. Whatever you know, tell them about that.
So the next up, we have a question, sir. Does having work experience help in clearing exam or interview?
Not in clearing the exam, but neither in interview. But again, the interview process changed a bit because of your work experience. And the second thing, like they give you some advantage on the basis of your work ex, because of course everybody wants that the placement of the college should be very good at par with every other institution. So any student with work ex, they are easier to get placed from the college. So that's why they give you this advantage of work. And again, other advantage they get from a work student, because they can bring the situation of their company to the class, and they will be understanding the situation of the case study with respect to their organizational background. So there are some advantages to have a student with work, and that advantage gives them some extra brownie point to their candidature. But you should not be demotivated if you are not if you don't have any work ex, and neither you should be very relaxed just because you have work ex with you.
So, sir, now I would like to ask you the best books for NMAT preparation.
So if you're asking about the best book, it's just the GMAC official guide for NMAT. You can buy it from any bookstore, or through Amazon, or through GMAC website also.
Can you repeat, sir?
The GMAC official guide for NMAT, which is provided by the same institution which takes the test.
Any other books or any other resources?
Anything that if you are preparing for NMAT, you must have been preparing for other MBA exams also, and anything that you have used there can be used here for NMAT also, like for number system, for arithmetics, for algebra, for probability. So whatever the content that you have already been learning with them, you can use the same to understand the concept. And for logical reasoning part, you may get these questions through website also, and any book which has a compilation of all the type of logical reasoning, you can buy that.
And let's take up more questions. How to have conceptual clarity for the topic in just a month?
So 1 month is very great time to have this clarity. It's just like at what level you are, and with whom or with what you are trying to clear your concepts. So the resource is very important. Like if you are having a teacher or a mentor with you, they must know how to improve the concept in your mind. And if you're not following a mentor, if you're not having a teacher, you must have good resources for that, because books or videos or the lectures are very important, because you cannot learn it by yourself. So you have to follow something, you have to follow. So most of the book that math books is there in the market, they actually gives you lots of questions. They don't give you the detailed conceptual elaboration of that concept. So in that case, you need to follow some videos or whatever, like the teacher that you have, and you can also ask for the help for with the person who have already qualified the exam or who have already demonstrated his conceptual clarity. You can ask them also.
So, during our childhood, or even when we just give exam, we are never being sure that whether our preparation is sufficient to give examination or not. So even while we are just attempting mocks and PYQs, how to be sure that yes, our preparation is done to appear for the examination? How to know this?
So I follow this golden rule of knowing that where you are eligible for the exam or not. So if you're solving any question like 10 question from a particular topic, and then you are getting the 11th question. So with that 11th question, what is the probability to solve that question? And you just need to find out that. So if you are being comfortable with the next question, then you are going good. And then you have to do the same for all the other topics. So this is the only thing that I see that if my student is like being is being comfortable with the any new question, and like everyone, I'll tell you an example. There's a person who have solved 10 to 15 questions, and when I'm asking a new question to him, if he's trying to recall the all the 15 questions, solution of all the 15 questions to do in order to do the 16th one, then he's not preparing well. And if a person is understanding the concept and he started thinking independently for the new question, then he is prepared for the exam because it's an aptitude test. Ultimately, you have to solve the question through your aptitude, not the things that you've learned. So that's the best way to check your preparation level.
Next time, I am also going to just try this tips you have given
Right.
to be assured. Okay, so sir, this is the time to just go through the notes we have created for certain sections. So still, if those students who want to seek your suggestion how they should prepare their notes at this point and what should be the revision strategy to just go through it, what would that be?
So for revision or to make notes, I will have two different suggestions. While you are making notes, don't write the formulas only. If I'm writing the formula of average, like sum of all the observation divided by number of observations, and I'm not knowing from where this formula had come, so then this note is not going to help me. So everything, every formula, every fact, every concept that I'm writing, I need to go underneath of that from where it had come. And if I'm writing that, then it would be a good one. And for the revision, I'll say try to do a certain set of questions repeatedly rather than doing new questions. Like for one particular segment, you have picked 50 questions. Just do the 50 questions again and again rather than going for the next 50 questions, because that will actually improve your thinking ability of all your difficulty points of difficulties.
So if there's a question a student want to ask you, so my English is weak and I am from Hindi medium college. How can I appear for this examination and how can I work on myself?
Okay, so I'll answer this question in Hindi only because see, मैंने पहले ही बताया तुम्हें कि the English here is not the test of English one. It will have lots of RCs, it will have critical reasoning questions, and it will have paraforming and sentence error. So everywhere where the grammar part is involved, even if you're not good in English communication, not good in English writing, you may be very good at grammar, and you can read the books which are like Hindi English version. Like there are a lot of books which have grammar books which have written in Hindi. So you can like I'll suggest you one book. There is a one book which is How to Write Correct English from R.P. Sharma, and he has actually written the book in Hindi for the English grammar. So you can go through that book. And for reading comprehension, I already told you, just know different of top. different topics or context, even in Hindi, you'll be able to do that in RC also. So if you are in a Hindi medium students, prepare for the verbal part in Hindi only.
So, sir, next up we have a question. How to prepare ourselves for the exam day? Can you suggest some mind calming activities? Okay.
Of course. This is a very frequent question, and this is very important. So what I suggest every student that it's not the exam day. Is the day before exam is very important. Like you don't have should not do any absurd activity or irregular activity day before exam, and you should work a lot in evening or the entire day so that you can have a very good sleep. To sleep before the exam is very important. So you should have at least 8 hours sound sleep before the exam. And then when you woke up in the morning, do not try to eat anything unhealthy, or I can say anything which makes you sleep. You know. So and also keep yourself little hungry, not like you should not be full with your belly. And the third thing that I would suggest that before exam, like 30 minutes before exam or 40 minutes before exam, you can have energy drink also. It actually helps. And so these 3 4 things will keep you very in sync with the concentration and the exam temperament.
So, sir, next up we have a question because when the moment we opened up the registration, we have received certain questions. So again, the question is related to the quant. Ankush Kashyap has this question: how to scale the NMAT exam if my quant is bit weak?
So again, I'll say the same thing. There are very less topic which is important for NMAT, and you try to restart them, and you just forget whatever you are already studied, or whatever you know uh, before. You just start from the very scratch and try to build the concept from there, and try to solve question from the very basics. Like for percentage, you should start from fraction. For average, you should start from very basic questions of average, and then grow up with the difficulty level. With this, you will actually will not get lost in anywhere in preparation, and you'll also have a grip in your on your preparation, that you're going with the from the scratch to difficulty level.
Sir, for this session, I'll take up the last question. Still, students, if you have any question, feel free to send your questions to me. Quickly, I'll take those questions. Okay, so we have a question. Which section of NMAT 2022 will carry maximum marks?
All the section will carry same marks. The score range is 12 to 120 for all the sections, but the number of minutes, the amount of minutes is different only. Like each section will have 36 questions, but the time which is provided for language skills is 28 minutes, and the quantitative skills is 52 minutes. So it's almost double, if not double, matlab like near to double. So you can get more time, but again, in maths you have to do the calculation, and also have to do the write something on your paper also. So there is no preference in sections from the exam side. They treat everyone the same.
So this session will be uploaded on our official YouTube channel. So you can check out the link in the chat box I have already shared. So it's time for me to wrap up this session for today. So today what we understood what is NMAT. We also talked about application process, eligibility criteria, and selection process. Sir also guided us on the section-wise exam attempt and about the writing ability test and personal interview preparation tips. He also gave some suggestion related to the best books, not exactly the best book, but the guide you can refer to about the time management, revision strategy, and how to prepare for the CAT and NMAT. And thank you, sir, for guiding on all the pointers and making us confident to face this exam. Rest to all of you, thank you to all of you for being a part of this session. And still, if you have any question, then I'm sharing a link in the chat box. You can post your questions here and our subject expert will answer your questions. Okay, so I think we have received certain questions, so we just quickly take those. Best strategy and approach while we are giving NMAT mocks. Rahul has this question.
Actually, whenever you get any difficult question, you should not waste time on that question. You just need to put any answer and go ahead, because if it is a difficult question anyway, they are going to give you the next question less difficult. So rather than wasting time on that, just skip the question very fast. This is the one strategy that I'll suggest. Second, what was that, man? Second question was?
So this was the only question. Best strategy and approach while we are giving NMAT mocks.
It's like same as GMAT. For GMAT preparation also we suggest just skip the question. Do not attempt or do not try to solve it by taking the entire time which the question is being allocated, because ultimately you'll be getting all the question in that amount of time. You'll be getting 36 questions in 52 minutes for maths. So if you'll waste most of the time in any question, whether you are when you are not able to solve it ultimately, so it's best to skip the question by marking it whatever you want and any option.
Though, sir, you have already answered it. Again, the Piyush Sahu has this question. If you could just repeat the section-wise timing.
So for language skills, it is 28 minutes. For quantitative skills, it's 52 minutes. And for logical listening, it is 40 minutes. The total time duration will be 120 minutes.
I hope all the questions have been answered now. And with this, I am Shilpa signing off. Till then, take care and keep checking our Shiksha portal for the upcoming webinar. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, take care.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel.